In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up dynamic search ads in Google Ads. Now, using dynamic search ads, or DSAs for short, can be quite powerful within the Google Ads account, particularly if you run e-commerce stores like Shopify. So when I take you over to my screen, I'll walk you through how to set them up and rookie errors that most people miss. They end up going round and round in circles, chasing their own tails, and don't set them up correctly. All right, so here we are at my screen right now in my test Google Ads account for my test Shopify store, cheapcampinggear.net. Now, there's two ways to go about setting up a dynamic search ad. One, you can set up a completely new campaign and start from scratch. Or two, you can actually set up an ad group within an existing campaign. But in today's video, I'm going to start from scratch. Two ways to set up a campaign from scratch is you can come to this plus button here on the left-hand side, or we can come to this blue campaign options edit button, which we can click, which I'll do just today. We can either set up a new ad group, like so, or campaign. In today's episode, I'm just going to set up a brand new campaign. So I'll click the plus button and I'll select campaign. Okay, so what's the objective? You might be going after sales or you might be going after leads. For this demonstration, I'm going to select no guidance for this campaign, and then we'll select search. And then we want to make sure that we've got the right conversion goal within the account is selected here. Once you have that correctly set up, click continue, select website visits. Now you can select either of these if you want, if you're looking for a particular result, but you can continue on from here as well. Just select that. Campaign name. Now, important to give it some proper naming conventions. So for this demonstration, I will call this search. Put a separator. It's a DSA campaign. For the separator, I'll target the USA, and we'll just call this generic. Once you give yourself a solid campaign name, select continue. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to put this slider away so it's not distracting. Now we need to pick a bidding strategy. Now it has a few recommendations here. You can select conversions, conversion value, clicks, or impression share. Now let's just hypothetically say that my account is getting lots of sales through my other campaigns, and it is a Shopify store, so we're going for ROAS mostly. So I'll click conversion value. Can set a target ROAS if I like. Just put in 150. Moving down to customer acquisition. Now if you want to adjust your bids for new customers, you can do that. So here by clicking that off and then working through that. Today I won't be. I'll be keeping my bids even across new or existing customers. Click next. Now, depending on the networks in the campaign settings that you want to display ads for, you can include the search partners network or the display network. I'll just uncheck that off. I just want to be purely on Google search. Now, locations, as I did state that this is going to be a US campaign, select the United States, include that. And then under location options, which is important, I've mentioned this in previous videos, it's important to have your location targeting set correctly, even though Google says this is recommended. Now, we only want to sell products to people in the US only. We don't want people interested in buying products within the US as well. You can kind of murky the waters with our targeting if we have people clicking from all different locations in the world who are interested in the US. So I click people in or regularly in the included locations. Languages, I tend to cross that off unless I'm specifically going for a language in a specific country. You have your audience segments as well. So you might want to add these in at a observation level, for example. People that might be in the camping who've got signals from Google in the camping space. You can also browse and add your own segments in there as well, should you wish. Just make sure I've got the observations at recommended, not targeting. Otherwise, it will make it too narrow if I'm getting started. If I'm specifically going after certain audiences, then I would target it. And then we got broad keywords. You can either turn that on and off. However, it is a stick of dynamite. You're going to leave broad match keywords on. This is a DSA campaign. So technically speaking, you don't have a choice in the type of keywords you're going to be targeting. Google will crawl through your site in your landing pages and determine where and when to show your ads. So for now, I'm just going to click that off. Automatically create assets. Well, it's technically going to do that with the dynamic search ad campaign. So I'll leave that off. Now under more settings, just make sure that you've got your settings set up how you wish in terms of like best performing ad, or you want to rotate those ads because it's DSA campaign. If you are going to create more than one ad, that is best to have best performing on. Got any scheduling, or you want to block out, or if you want to exclude or limit any brand lists that you've got here, you can always add them in here as well. Once you're happy with that, click next. Okay, here we are. Now we're at the keyword and asset generation within the account. You can do that using Google's AI like so. You can skip it as well and move through to manually adding in keywords and ads. But here's the trick. If you keep moving through this and adding in all the keywords, and as you be scrolling down, you'll be going, hey, what's going on here? I thought this is supposed to be a dynamic search ad. Why am I adding in headlines and descriptions and business names and all the rest of the assets? This is where people get stuck. They keep moving through and they might just push next and work out from here, how do I actually set up the dynamic search ads? Reason being, it has to be set up in its own specific dynamic search ad group. If you don't want to have a generic search ad group in the account, you need to come to the top and you'll see see this little trash bin up the top here. Let's just get rid of this ad group by removing it. Say, yes, I want to remove this ad group, and it'll leave us with a blank slate. Just go back and skip this again, and I'll bring you back to the keywords and ads again, where it will ask you to create an ad group. From here, just come to the left-hand side and move on to budgets manually. And then from here, just add in your daily budget that you're happy to spend on. Just get rid of that again, hit next. Okay, so I was going to say you've got a few different issues here, but ignore that for now. Double check all your settings in terms of your overview, bidding, campaign settings. Ignore keywords and ads at the moment and your budget. Click publish campaign and it will throw up a warning. Okay, it says publish campaigns cannot run without ads, of course, but we're going to click publish anyway. So we'll essentially set up a campaign shell, having it ready for DSA ad groups. From here, we are in our draft campaign in terms of the search campaign that we've labeled a DSA USA generic. No ad groups at the moment. From here, we can come to the blue campaign options menu. We can click that and we can say new ad group, and our ad group type says standard, and we click this drop down and we select dynamic. Then just click continue, just keep moving on. So from here, we do need to put our website in, and our site is cheapcampinggear.net, and there's English, ad group name with this DSA generic. And if you are targeting anything specific, like I could be going after tents, you would pull this tents. Could also be that at the campaign level, you're just specifically targeting a particular product. All depends on how you're structuring and your strategy that you're using in your campaigns and your account. So from here, you can create new rules to target specific pages should you wish. You can use exact URLs. We can create rules around the targeting web page. So if I was to select this drop down where it says URLs, page title, content, again, as I was mentioning, if I want to do content and I'll write tent, and you can continue adding more rules in here as well. Might be content, tents. I'm not 100% sure at this stage if it does close match variants in terms of tent or tents. So I'll just add in both just in case. If you were to do that just for demonstration purposes, you can continue adding more. So you can see here on the right, it is popped up here with the first specific dynamic ads targeting. We can see here, you can always edit that as well. Then you can put in exact URL. So if you have a specific product or collection page, you can add them in here. Or lastly, you can just add in all pages through the website and check that box. If you're going to add in all web pages here, it's pretty pointless if you're going to add these two target groups together, because essentially the dynamic search ad is going to have one ad to rule them all. It's better to separate them out and add in URL exclusions, which I'll show you in just a moment. But for now, what I'll do is I will just remove that first lot of targeting, just stick with all pages on the website. Select continue. Okay, now we're coming up to creating our ads. Now, as you can see here, for the final URL, it is going to be automatically generated. Same with the headlines, same with the display URL. All we do need to add is descriptions. And I've prepared a couple earlier and I've just pasted them in. You also have URL options. If you're doing tracking, you can also set this up. This is quite advanced. So for now, I'll just leave that, click done. Now, if you wish, you can set up more dynamic search ads with different descriptions, completely up to you. You may want to be doing some A/B split testing, but for now, we'll just stick with this one and we'll click save and continue. Okay, so now that dynamic search ad is live, and we can see here that this has the ads also set up in here too. It has in the square brackets dynamically generated headlines, and also the display URL is pending under review. You see the type expanded dynamic search ad, as well as under the ad group. It says the ad group type is dynamic search ad. You can include your dynamic search ad groups within a standard responsive search ad campaign. Reason being is that you may want to be split testing dynamic search ad against your ad copy and your standard keywords and whatnot. You never know, you may get better results by doing one or the other. And at the end of the day, in Google Ads, we should always be experimenting and testing. So now to add in negative URLs, or what we call dynamic ad targets. Come down to the left-hand side on the screen and we come to dynamic ad targets. Select that. So once we're in the dynamic ad group targets, what we need to do is come to negative dynamic ad targets. We select this. For adding the negative dynamic ad targets, we can select the whole campaign or the ad group. So we're only testing this one ad group, so we'll select that. We can add in exact URLs, or again, like I showed before, by creating rules. So we can say that we don't want to include things like tents. In this case, we could say mattresses. We can add that in like so. And then we click save. And we can see now we have the negative dynamic ad target added in for this rule with any URL containing mattress in that campaign, and it's set up like so. Now, if you're needing any help with your Google Ads account, particularly if you want to position them to scale, reach out to me in the link below. You'll find it in the description or the pinned comment. And that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next. Bye for now.